Time went by, but the profound remorse remained. It's still smothering as my heart is beating. I can't remember the last time I slumbered in peace after that night. I have been told to externalize these feelings, to free them from my inner cage. 5 years ago, Holly, my daughter, turned 6. Time is fragile. It fades with each clickety-clack of the clock. However, call it a blessing or a curse, the worthy memories remain, vivid as if living them today. Her 6th birthday earned its external place in the burrows of my mind, not due to her joyous smile, nor due to the love brimming in the atmosphere of our garden. It earned its place because that night she met her imaginary friend Darren. Now let's talk about Holly. She was my treasure, the one I would forever cherish, love and protect with my life and soul. She glowed. She just did. There's no other way around it. She was polite, witty for her age, charming and effective. The concepts of lie and pride never made their way into her being. She never hesitated to say I love you or I hate you. She only knew truth and innocence. Words of a father, you might be thinking. And you are right. I did know pride, thanks to her. Our whole family gathered for her 6th birthday. It was a crowded event, to say the least. Fortunately, it went seamlessly. Cake on the table, Holly eager to extinguish the candles, fairy fames, as we all sang happy birthday. Don't forget your birthday wish, darling, said my mother with a broad smile. Holly clapped to the beat. Her features expressed sheer happiness, that same magical feeling we felt on Christmas night when we were children. When our imagination convinced us the existence of a fat, white-bearded man clad in a red suit climbing down our chimneys to leave us presents. We didn't know what the world was capable of, and we didn't care. Holly was no different. The idea of an imaginary friend made sense. The next morning she came to the table, gave me and her mother a good morning kiss, and joined us in our delicious task of devouring a pile of hotcakes. Mom, I want to eat veggies today at lunch, she said. Both my wife and I gazed at each other with a frown filled with confusion. She hated vegetables. Sure, sweetie. Anything for my precious princess, my wife said, pinching Holly's cheeks. I told you they were tasty, I said, and smiled at her. Strangely, she turned her eyes away from me and stared downward. Holly? She shut her eyes tight. She believed that when she closed her eyes, she disappeared briefly, and wouldn't open them. Holly, what are you hiding? I asked, worried. This is not a normal behavior of hers. She only did this when she made a mistake. Her eyes opened and sighed audibly, as if defeated. I didn't taste any veggie, she confessed. Darren told me that I had to be a good girl and eat them. Otherwise, Santa was bringing me coal and ash instead of a puppy this Christmas. Come again? Who is Darren? I asked and leaned forward, making sure I didn't miss a single word. She covered her eyes with her palms. Holly, I can see you. Who is this Darren? At this point, my wife grabbed my forearm and signaled for me to remain calm by pushing both of her hands in a downward motion, as if pushing air. Holly gave up. Yesterday, I wished for a new friend, and my wish was granted. Darren lives in my wardrobe. He visited me last night, she said, and found refuge in a big hot cake bite. An imaginary friend. I had them too, I thought to myself, and switched the conversation to another topic. At least he gives her some good advice. How wrong was I? The next couple of days, everything was fine. Nothing out of the ordinary. We grew accustomed to hearing her talk by herself at night. Out of curiosity, I have examined the wardrobe and found nothing. Holly didn't try veggies and fell in love with spinach. Naturally, I showed her Popeye, one of my favorite cartoons. There's an inflection point to everything. It had been 6 days since she confessed Darren's existence. That morning, the joy of her smile turned into pouting lips, downward cast eyes, and despondent gait. She didn't even kiss us good morning. "Holly, what's wrong, princess?" her mother asked, resting her arm. Holly shut her eyes and refused to open them, longer than ever before. 10 minutes had gone by, and we didn't know what to do. "Holly, we are not playing anymore. We can see you. Did Darren upset you?" I asked, on the verge of losing my temper. Tears streamed down her cheeks, but at least she nodded. "Good. I will go have a talk with Darren right now and fix this," I said and pretended to stand. "No," she screamed, eyes wide open. "You can't talk to him." I frowned. "Why is that?" He He's in a bad mood lately. He says that you are both stupid adults and that I shouldn't believe you." The tears intensified. I stood and cradled her. She wasn't a baby anymore, but my instincts guided me. "Listen to me, princess. If he treats you bad, you come into our bedroom, okay? I'll have a talk with him while you're in school." She nodded and finished her breakfast. Claudia and I left her on school, and then we went to our prospective jobs. We both agreed that if Darren didn't disappear, a psychological therapist would be a must. I asked my boss for a day off under the excuse that I was feeling feverish. He told me to take as many days as needed. We have known each other for a long time and had a great relationship. I came back home early. I felt the need to research about these imaginary friends. How did you handle such an intelligible subject that affected the mood of your kid? May this be an early sign of mental sickness? Doubts flooded my mind. I had to arm myself with the knowledge to protect my daughter. A cold gust of wind blew my notes away. Damn, I forgot to shut the window this morning, I thought, and kept reading. After a while, I needed fuel, so I went to the kitchen. In the way, I found a pink crayon on the floor. Hiring a cleaning lady might be a good idea. I researched a lot throughout the day. Most papers said the same thing. Imaginary friends are normal, part of their lives, yet when they impulse your child to misbehave, it was a good idea to seek for therapy as early as possible. They also suggested to try and hear a conversation and try to analyze the current of thought of your child. And that's what I did. The night fell. Dinner filled my stomach. I talked with my wife about my plan, and she agreed under the terms to not wake her up. I hid in the bathroom. It was next to Holly's bedroom, and pressed my ear against the wall to hear as much as I could. "That's a bad idea, Darren." "I won't do that, Darren. It's dangerous. My father will scold me." "I'll do it if you promise to talk instead of write for once." My heart sank. The window. The crayon. Holly tiptoed towards the kitchen. She didn't notice me in the shadows. Could it be? Is my imagination tricking with me? A few seconds later, Holly tiptoed back to her bedroom. She held something behind her back. Her gait was careful, soundless. She crossed the bathroom door, and I peeked to see what she hid. It was a knife. Before she reached her room, I grabbed her and covered her mouth, suppressing the scream. Sheer fear emboldened her eyes. I beckoned for her to go with her mother and took the knife from her hands. She nodded, and I gingerly placed her back onto the ground. I pressed my index finger against her lips, signaling for her to remain quiet. She tiptoed into our bedroom. With the knife tightly grasped in my hands and my jaw clenched, I walked towards Holly's room. I didn't feel fear, the deep hatred of someone projecting my daughter downward. The adrenaline swarmed my veins, heart pummeling. A triangle of light escaped towards the hall. The door was upholstered. I pushed the door. Sitting with a red crayon on his hand was a shirtless, anorexic man, bones visible through his paper-like skin. I shuddered at the fragility of his being. The shaft of his extremities narrower than Holly's. He turned to me. I had never seen eyes as dead as his, expressionless, bloodshot, and unreadable. He stared deep into my pupils, unblinking as he wrote. The fear grew and crippled my body. What is this monster? He raised the paper and smiled exaggeratedly, displaying no teeth nor tongue. For a core, a sweet fruit. I let the knife fall. I wouldn't need it. I surged towards him and kicked him in his face. He didn't flinch, nor did he resist. He fell limp onto the floor, bleeding. I kneeled over him, snatched his neck, eyes inhumanly wide, hatred defeated, fear, and rushed towards my fist. The crack of his windpipe soothed my existence. He was dead, but I wouldn't stop, not until I disfigured that fucking smile off his cavernous face. The warm blood bathed my fist and stained the floor. What did you do to her? What did you do to her? I yelled as I masqueraded him. Robert, my wife screamed from afar. I bolted towards our bedroom. Holly stood in the doorframe, motionless, staring at the bed. It might have been the adrenaline shock, but I missed the details as I ran. I missed the dripping knife on Holly's hand. I missed the trail of blood meandering through the carpet, staining her tiny feet. I missed the stranger seeding ideas into my daughter's brain. I missed the second knife on Holly's pocket. But I didn't miss my wife's corpse, slaying at the throat, jugular blasting furiously, feeding the pungent crimson river. Nor did I miss Holly's reassuring smile as she grabbed my hand. Don't worry, Daddy. Darren told me he would heal her.